President, that the situation is distorted. If I didn't want to do it because I don't want to be controversial, I enlisted the roads, Mr. President. I enlisted them. The money is there. I didn't.
The chairman of appropriation.
I'm not against anybody. We should get it.
Get the budget. I can't rely on this day's report.
Chief Whip, can you maintain order?
Order, please. There.
Let's not make a political capital.
That the sum of 500 billion naira be set aside out of the 4.2 to be given to all existing road projects that across the country, and that was what was allotted to all projects across that is going on, that is currently going on, that they should not be abandoned. Not that the 4.2 trillion was shared into the 6 geopolitical zone, and one zone got just 19 billion.
Misconception by Olamilekan and some other people about this motion. This motion is talking, if you look at my motion, the first paragraph I said I referred to the Federal Executive Council meeting where 4.2 trillion has been approved for some roads. And those roads, I listed them. And I said, out of that 4.2 trillion, we all about 19 billion. And I'm saying that we should get more from that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mr. President, I am a little bit disturbed because Northeast Development Commission is on the first line charge against the budget. That is, they are on the statutory reserves or statutory revenues. And as such, on a monthly basis, their money should be released on the first line charge. But if there is a motion that centers on underfunding of the agency, I think it is only right and proper to call the Accountant General of the Federation to give explanation to this. And I want to implore, maybe the mover of the motion, to add as part of his prayers, that we should invite the Minister of Finance and the Accountant General of the Federation why Northeast Development Commission has not been funded, despite being on a statutory revenue, which is supposed to be released on a monthly basis.
Has the Northeast appropriated for roads in the country? And then, in particular, that the ones in the Northeast seem to have a smaller chunk of the total. It doesn't have anything to do with the Northeast Development Commission.
Mr. President, I want to say this only associated with the Northeast alone. As you are aware, the capital releases for the year is not encouraging. And you also know that you have taken steps in that direction to ensure that there is improvement in the 2024 capital releases, which cut across. It's not only associated with works, but across the MDAs. So I want to say that what the motion or the prayer is asking for, we can only attend to that by inviting the Minister of Finance, the Accountant General, which we in the appropriation has continuously engaged concerning the releases as regarding the capital expenditure. And I strongly believe that that will fall under the discussion that is currently going on the floor.
Well, let me.
Misconception by Olamilekan and some other people about this motion. This motion is talking, if you look at my motion, the first paragraph I said I referred to the Federal Executive Council meeting where 4.2 trillion has been approved for some roads. And those roads, I listed them. And I said, out of that 4.2 trillion, we all about 19 billion. And I'm saying that we should get more from that. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not saying they should never get it, but we too should also get it. Out of 4.2 trillion, you give one zone 19 billion, you give another zone 2 trillion. It's unfair. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all. I'm not saying they should get it. We too should get it in the Northeast. That's the crux of my motion.
Well, this is only 1 year, and I believe that we have done budgets since 1960. The motion is good, and what the motion is saying is talking about rehabilitation and reconstruction of existing roads. The budget on over 3-4 trillion has a lot to do with the construction of new roads, which has to do with the coastal road to try to link the which has to do with the coastal road, which totally was non-existent before the administration came on board. I believe strongly that if previous administrations in the country had actually gone into a serious roadmap on road construction and rehabilitation, most of the complaints we are having will not be there. As Senator Goje was presenting his motion, I was just imagining what will happen in 10 years' time when others will jump up to say that the coastal road is in deplorable condition and that nothing has happened since construction and that section this to this, nobody can pass and all that. And you know, coastal road is easy to erode as a result of salt and swampy nature of the terrain. Until we have a serious roadmap on road maintenance in the country, and like Senator, I think Senator Idia suggested, we should have a roadmap on how to maintain our roads and also how to ensure reconstruction. I give you an example. For instance, the only road linking Cross River State and Akpabio was done in 1975 by either RCC or Fujiro. But within it, they left a provision that there should be an overlay in 7 years. 40 years after, that overlay was not done. And so because of the amount of traffic on that road and the heavy thrust from Akamba, which carries all the aggregates for construction and distributes it to the rest of the southeast, south-south, the road has gone totally. And today, people are dying on the waterways between Mbo in Akwa Ibom and Calabar because there was no plan to maintain the road and there was no plan to keep the road in motorable condition. So we'll continue to have these kind of issues unless we sit down and even if we declare an emergency on road construction and rehabilitation, we must have the roadmap for maintenance of existing infrastructure in the country. Otherwise, we spend all the money, spend all the trillions, and then the next Senate, the next National Assembly will still be inundated with these kind of issues. I believe strongly that even for the outside world to listen to us complaining about roads and rehabilitation, it's a shame on the planlessness of the Ministry of Works in the country. So let us go straight into the prayers and see what we can do to improve the amount of money going into the northeastern part of the country. Otherwise, we concentrate on new constructions while the northeast becomes inaccessible. So let's look at the prayers. Operation that you have explanation to make that can allay the fears of all the regions and zones in the country on the budget for roads. What is the explanation?
The issue raised by Senator Goje, I want to thank the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who ordinarily was trying to provide for the coastal road project that is going on, which is to the tune of the 4.2 trillion. That is the two coastal roads, the Lagos the Badagry Sokoto and the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, but out of which the president now approved that for all the existing road, that the sum of 500 billion naira, that the sum of 500 billion naira be set aside out of the 4.2 to be given to all existing road projects that across the country, and that was what was allotted to all projects across that is going on, that is currently going on, that they should not be abandoned. Not that the 4.2 trillion was shared into the 6 geopolitical zone and one zone got just 19 billion. The 2 was meant for the 2 coastal road projects, but out of which the president has said we should take or set aside 500 billion to be distributed among all other ongoing road projects across the country. That was what really happened. Not that the 4.2 trillion was divided into 6 geopolitical zones and one zone got 19 billion. That's not the position. The position was it's the 2 coastal road that was to be taken care of, and out of it the president now we should set aside 500 billion, which was shared among more than 150 or 60 roads across the country. That was transparent, sir.
Noted by distinguished Senator Olamilekan. Deputy Leader has further exposed the fact that the money majorly goes to 2 major roads: Lagos Calabar Coastal Road, and then Sokoto to Lagos.
President, that's distortion. It's distorted. If I didn't want to do it because I don't want to be controversial, I enlisted the roads, Mr. President. I enlisted them. The money is there. I didn't.
The chairman of appropriation is telling you that it is
Mr.
the
President,
budget.
I disagree. Don't distort, please. I'm not against anybody. We too, we should get it.
Get the budget. I can't rely on this day's report.
Chief Whip, can you maintain order?
Order, please. There.
Let's not make a political capital.
Proved. It's not budget.
He's saying that majorly the money appropriated for 2025 in terms of road will go to majorly Lagos Calabar Coastal Road and then Sokoto to Lagos. Because those 2, please speak when you are recognized. Because those 2 roads are a priority of the government to do from all the way from Sokoto to Lagos and then do all the way from Lagos to Calabar. That's the priority of the administration. Then the leftover of 500 million is now shared into all the 36 states in order to maintain the ongoing road projects in the country, to avoid abandonment. That means in essence that it is not done on the basis of regions or zones. So if there was, I believe that this explanation should suffice. But let's look at the prayers and just close this discussion. Prayer 1, commend the federal government for embarking on these ambitious and laudable projects that will go a long way to guarantee socio-economic and political well-being of the citizenry of this country. Those in support that the federal government be commended for this project say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2, urge the federal government to, as a matter of necessity, approve the rehabilitation of the listed deplorable roads in the northeast. I would have said also in the south-south. I would have, Senator Sane, you want to amend the prayer?
Yes, I want to amend. I'm not going to shout now. I urge the Senate to amend the second prayer to read, urge the federal government to, as a matter of necessity, approve the rehabilitation of all the deplorable roads across Nigeria. I so moved.
I remain Senator Victor Ume, OFR. Stand up to second the amendment to prayer 2, which says that urge the federal government as a matter of necessity approve the rehabilitation of all the deplorable roads across the Federation of Nigeria. I so second.
And seconded to read that we should urge the federal government of Nigeria to, as a matter of necessity, approve the rehabilitation of all deplorable roads across the entirety of Nigeria. Those in support of prayer 2 as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3, urge the federal government to extend the renewed Hope Superhighway Road Project to the northeastern part of Nigeria, so as to ensure full inclusion of the zone into the mainstream economic activities of the country. Those in support of prayer 3 say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Let me thank my brother, the Senator Goje, for bringing this all-important motion to the fore. And then, of course, also thank the distinguished Senator Olamilekan for his explanation that the Northeast has not been left out, and that cognitions shall be taken or has been taken, even in the current budget, to address most of the deplorable roads mentioned by Senator Goje in the motion. So I thank all my colleagues for their contributions and pray that monies will be available, the economy will improve, prosperity will come to Nigeria to enable the government address most of the concerns of all citizens of the country to their satisfaction. I thank you all. Leader of the Senate.
Senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the first business of the day is the presentation of a House bill standing in my name on the Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2025, HB 490. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Distinguished colleagues, Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2025, HB 490, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Banigo Akpabio Harry on the Customs and Excise Management Pharmaceutical Inputs Duty Exemption Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 704. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Distinguished colleagues, Customs and Excise Management Pharmaceutical Inputs Duties Exemption Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 704, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
And distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Kaka Shehu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, on the Nigerian Citizenship Bill 2025, SB 705. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Distinguished colleagues, Nigerian Citizenship Bill 2025, SB 705, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Very distinguished colleagues, the fourth business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of most distinguished Senator Jibril Issa on the Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 706. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk. Distinguished colleagues, Orthopedic Hospitals Management Board Act Amendment Bill 2025, SB 706, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.